So, hello everyone and welcome to another video. So today we are doing my most disappointing. We have, going through all my best books, worst books, most surprising books, and most disappointing books. So let's just talk about them. So, the first, or these don't have like any particular order, but we are going to talk about Haiku, and this is such a hyped graphic novel series. It's so highly rated on my Goodreads. I'm going to continue on with this series. Like a lot of these I am going to continue on with. It's just that I was a little disappointed. And I was a little disappointed in this just because I think that I had so high expectations because it has like a really, really high rating, and I just didn't get those feelings. So it was a little disappointing, but it wasn't bad, it was just disappointing. And some of these are really highly rated for me. So the next one is Red Sister. And this one I gave 4 stars. So it's, not a bad book, but I was just a little disappointed in it. So in this one we are following this girl, and basically she's kind of sold to this guy, and basically she murders someone, and so she's going to be killed, but she's saved by this woman who takes her to a convent which basically train assassin nuns, and this is the beginning to that. So I thought I was going to give this 5 stars because there have been so much talk about this, people have loved it, but it was just something that missed, so I gave it 4 stars. And but it was really good, but it was just disappointing. Then we have Mistletoe and Mr Wright. This is the second book in a series. The first one is The Tourist Attraction, which I gave 4 stars, really liked. I thought Mistletoe and Mr Wright would be good. I gave it 3 stars, so I was a little disappointed. But it wasn't bad. I moved on to the next book and I really liked that. So yeah, but Mistletoe and Mr Wright, we are following the best friend from the best friend to the character in the first book. So basically she with a fault tranquilizes the guy she likes, and it kind of goes from there. So yeah, a little disappointed, but overall it was good. But yeah, then we have The Truth and Other Hidden Things, and basically yeah, I got this as an arc and it sounded really interesting, but overall I was just a little annoyed with the main character. She's like, I don't know, 30, 40 maybe, and she gets pregnant. And things go wrong, but she starts like this blog who talks about things that is happening in the new town that they just moved to. And yeah, I was just a little annoyed. I didn't particularly like her, but I was a little disappointed just because the premise sounded interesting, and it just was a little disappointing, as I read it. Then we have Mr. Masters, and this one I have heard so many good things about. So it's basically about this girl, and she goes to kind of babysit these kids to someone who is named like Mr. Masters is the man in the house. And yeah, I just didn't particularly get that feeling that everyone else has gotten. I didn't particularly hate it, I just was a little annoyed, and I just feel like I think it comes with like the impressions that I get from the man, and I just didn't like the man. And yeah, and she was okay, but I didn't get the feeling that this is a book that I love, and I had a struggle getting through this, and I read it as an ebook, and I struggled so much with this. Then we have Milk and Honey, and this is a poetry book, and this is such a highly recommended poetry book. But it was a little disappointing just because I think I had so great expectations because this is such a loved poetry book, and I just didn't connect with it in that way. I gave it 3 stars, so obviously it's good, but I just didn't connect with it like in that way that people want to connect with it. So yeah, but it was okay, and I think it's a good poetry book to, try out and see if you like it. Then we have Assassin's Apprentice, and in this one we are following this boy, and he is the bastard son of the prince, and basically one day he's kind of given to the stable, like not the stable master, but given to one of the guys who says that this is the bastard son of the prince, and I don't want him anymore. But when his name is Fitz, but when Fitz gets to the castle, his father has abdicated the throne and is long gone. So Fitz is basically given to the stable master to kind of be raised there. But when he gets a little older, the king basically wants to train him as the assassin, just because he is in a really good way, just because he can mingle in both crowds, because he is not good enough to, be the prince, but he's good enough to, mingle with those kind of people, but he's also low enough to mingle with the normal people. So he's trained to be an assassin. This is the first book. A lot of people have loved this series. I didn't get those feelings. I was a little bored at times, but I am going to continue on with this series just because I am really curious, and people say that the books get better as you continue on, so I definitely want to continue on and see. A lot of people have been crying reading a few of these books, so I'm really curious to see how I am going to react, But yeah, a little disappointed. I thought I was going to really like this book, but I liked it, but I didn't love it, Then we have The Library of the Unwritten, and this is basically about a woman who runs the library in hell. And basically she is on the lookout for this book, and so are kind of the angels, because they both want this book. And things is definitely happening. I thought I was going to love this, books about books. I gave it 3 stars, so I liked it, but it wasn't like a new favorite thing. And yeah, I was just a little disappointed just because I didn't like it as much. Things happened, and it was okay, but it's not like my new favorite book, to be completely honest. Overall, okay book, but yeah. The last book I want to talk about is The Stand, and I could have put this in my worst book as well, but I didn't feel like putting all Stephen King's in there. But I felt like this was the one that has had most hope that I was going to like it, and I didn't, so I am a little disappointed, It's a really long book. It's basically about a epidemic, I don't know what to call it, and basically that will wipe out out like 99% of the world, and you follow a few people that are kind of left, who are kind of immune. So yeah, I felt like this book was too long, and yeah, I just didn't connect with it, and I didn't connect with the characters, and that is like main thing that happens when I don't like a book. I don't connect with the characters. Usually when I really connect with the characters and I love them with my whole heart, I will love that book, but I don't connect it. And you know, for me, the first like minute of the audiobook needs to be really interesting. At least the first chapter needs to be that I am like instantly grabbed if to something. If not, I am going more hesitant into the book. I didn't particularly like the characters in this. It wasn't like something that is super interesting. So yeah, I think that was it. My most disappointing books. It wasn't that bad, but yeah. I hope you liked this video, and I will see you next time for another one. Bye!